Hey guys, Troy Moldy with TM Listings, and I'm here with Jeremy Peterson with Remax Results, and I'm doing our monthly outreach for the month of September 2020, and what a year it's been. And today I'm just going to kind of navigate walking through, excuse me, the HUD process. So when you find a property on the HUD Home Store website and you're going to place a bid, and then your offer's accepted, what happens afterwards is you'll get an email from the asset manager saying that your bid's been accepted. From there, they're going to require that you get an earnest money check that's made out to the title company. So when you're making a bid, you select your title company, and the earnest money check is made out to that title company. It must be a cashier's check or money order. It cannot be a personal check. And that earnest money check is given to the listing agent. The listing agent will give you, the winning bidder, a earnest money receipt. You're going to upload the earnest money receipt along with proof of funds or a pre-approval, and the lender is going, or not the lender, I'm sorry, the title company is going to upload that they have the proper insurance requirements to close on a HUD transaction. When those three things are uploaded, the asset manager will review, and if they're all done properly, approved, then what will happen is you'll get an email as the buyer's agent with to sign off on the purchase agreement. Once you sign off, it goes to the buyer. Once the buyer signs off, it goes to the title company. Once the title company signs off, it goes to the seller, and the seller ratifies the contract and emails it back to you with utility activation instructions, as well as an email that will have information on any amendments or changes that you need to make and who you need to contact for those. It's important when you're going through to do all of these initial steps timely, because you're only allotted so much time and the contract will cancel. So if you get your offer accepted, the first thing you do, if you haven't already, is get the earnest money check to the listing agent. And then once you upload those documents, make sure you follow up that after you sign it, tell the buyer, hey, you're going to have an email to sign off on the purchase agreement, and make sure you follow up the title company, because it can get caught in between. Somebody misses it, it goes to a junk mail, and you just want to make sure that that process is moving forward. A lot of questions and a lot of delays come in that step, so just thought I would do a video on walking you through how to do that, and next time I can do a video on utility activation. So that's all I have for this month, and thanks for checking in, and we'll catch you guys next month. Hey guys, Troy Moldy here, and I'm here with Jeremy Peterson, and today I'm going to be doing our HUD outreach for the month of excuse me, October 2020, and I want to talk to you guys today about selling HUD homes as is, and kind of go through some examples and what that means. HUD homes are unique, and they're different from other bank-owned properties. They follow different guidelines. They have their own purchase agreement, and you know, I've sold for a number of different banks, and usually you use a state purchase agreement along with a attached addendum that the bank will have. But HUD actually has their own separate purchase agreement. I recommend everybody read it before bidding on a HUD house. And what HUD does, and this can change from time to time, HUD will have private companies bid to be asset managers, and then those policies can change within those bids from time to time. So although I don't see a lot of drastic changes, things can change from time to time. So if it's been a while since you did a HUD transaction, it's always good to reach out to the listing agent and just kind of get a quick recap on how things are done. Like, they used to go hard copy, blue ink signature. Now they do e-signing. So you know, they do make changes from time to time, but I usually don't see that many changes. So HUD homes are sold as is, and what that means is when you go out to the property and you view the property, and your buyer says, okay, let's put an offer in on this one, I like it, prior to making your offer, I always tell people try to get as much information about that property as you can, because HUD won't renegotiate no matter what you find. So let's just say you do your inspection and you find some things about the house that you don't like, and you go back to HUD and say, hey, I don't like these things, can you fix them? HUD will only, they'll say perform or cancel. If you're not going to move forward, you got to cancel. So try to get as much information about that. If the city requires mandatory city inspections, those inspections usually are not done, and so you won't have that data. So it's worth calling the city and finding out, is there anything about the house that you need to know about. And I'll give you an example. I recently had a property that there was a $25,000 assessment that the city had put on it. Those are things that you want to call and find out, because it may affect how much you're going to bid on a property. Call your city, call your county, and find out, is there anything about the property that you need to know about. If there's an assessment, general rule of thumb, it's not 100%, but typically what I've seen is if there's an assessment and it's a benefit to the buyer, like an example of a benefit to a buyer would be a sidewalk, a street road, sewer repair. So if they see something along those lines and they say, HUD's position would be, well, the buyer gets that benefit, so we'll prorate the assessment to closing, so they will not pay that past. Typically I'll see them pay things like past homeowners association dues, if there were charges for mowing grass or something like that. If it's not a benefit to the buyer, that's kind of where the argument lies. So if people say, well, it doesn't benefit my buyer, then that's where I see HUD paying those. So be aware of that. And then again, no matter what you find, HUD's not going to fix anything and renegotiate anything. So try to get your offers to know what you're getting into, or really take a look at the property. It's not a bad idea to even get an inspection if you can, to get as much information to get an accurate bid, because I'll see sometimes where somebody will make a bid and then they won't have any information, and they realize they bid not knowing about some things, and somebody else will know about the things, and the initial bidder will have to cancel and the backup bidder will get the property, and that buyer is the most prepared because they understand what they're getting into. Secondly, with as-is, you have to make sure your financing will work in the as-is condition. So if the property says the pipes don't hold pressure and you can't turn the water on, you're going to need to talk to your lender, because at no time are you ever going to get permission to turn the water on. And so if you're going with conventional financing and the appraiser says, I need the water on, HUD's not going to give you permission to turn the water on. So you want to think about that as well, as when the property is in the as-is condition, will it be approved for the type of financing you're going to get? So that's it, what I have for you guys this month. Just really think about the as-is condition, being able to perform without any changes to the property. And I guess I should leave on the other side is the earnest money, that if an investor cancels for any reason at all, and I'm talking any reason, HUD will keep the earnest money after the contract's been ratified. So let's just say you submit an offer and you run over and you do an inspection before you give the earnest money, then cancel, then HUD's not going to try to keep the earnest money. If you give the earnest money, sign the documents, the seller signs the documents, and you have a fully ratified contract, and then cancel, HUD's going to keep that earnest money if you're an investor. If you're an owner-occupant, there are some inspection stipulations that you can read about in the purchase agreement that a buyer can get their earnest money back. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys next month.